2012, I think, was the first gathering in KNI to just talk about forming a network and actually formalizing a relationship with each other. And then it was in January 2013, I believe, that we actually signed an agreement with each other and formally created the network. And just want to draw your attention to over here on the subwoofer at the moment. There's a couple handouts. There's this just one page front and back overview of the network, and I'll just read this real quick. Our purpose is to share and learn from our diverse experiences, lessons, ideas, and best practices to help each other malama our special areas. We are motivated by our love for our island home and our concern for the sustainability of our natural resources, especially nearshore marine areas. By working together, we better ourselves and each other and the islands of Maui Nui. We focus on restoring balance to our ahupua'a by recognizing the relationship between the land and the sea. We commit to providing a legacy for future generations of ecosystem health and food security. And then there's some more information on here, as well as the 6 different sites, and then the 2 supporting members of the network, which are the Nature Conservancy and the Maui Nui Marine Resource Council. And the part of our way we talked about governing or kind of organizing ourselves was to have the chair of the network rotate between the different communities each year, which was chosen at random at the beginning. So this year, Mo'olea is the community that's chairing the network, so that's why we're hosting the gathering out here in Hana this time, and each year it'll rotate between the different communities. The role of Konohiki, and like in the context of looking at community-based subsistence fishing area, is that a way of kind of implementing Konohiki? Is it not Konohiki? What are the relationships between those things? So as we talked about that, we felt like this was a topic that we really just wanted to delve into more deeply and have some expert opinion to give us kind of a historical background of traditional and customary rights and Konohiki law, how it came to be to the point where it is today, and how it might apply to our work in the future. So as we talked about that, we felt like this was a topic that we really just wanted to delve into more deeply and have some expert opinion to give us kind of a historical background of traditional and customary rights and Konohiki law, how it came to be to the point where it is today, and how it might apply to our work in the future. So with that, I'd like to introduce Malia, Shae, and Khara, who are going to share some of their scholarly research on this, and I guess you guys want to offer the lay for Malia.
This is very good. I'll point it out.
Shae. And we really appreciate you all coming today to just share your research and your expertise in this area and engage us in a discussion that can enlighten our work and the work that we're doing in communities to fulfill our purpose and protect our fisheries for the future generations. So welcome, thank you.
Thank you. So it was so great for me to listen to the mo'olelo of your special places, and really I think you'll understand this presentation a lot, maybe even more so than my law students. Because your piko is strong, you're connected to your place, and really Native Hawaiian rights law is about the people's relationship to their aina, their special relationship to their aina. So if there's anything that's confusing about the law, all you gotta do is center yourself right in your piko and right in your place, and you understand what your rights are. So this, basically, I'm going to be touching upon a lot of different stuff, so it might be kind of a mind blow kind of thing, and so just absorb it like a sponge, and then you can think about it later on. But I'm going to be giving you all the tools, so you know, you can take out not just your slingshot, but your bazooka and everything. So, what I try to teach my law students and communities that I present at is give you guys some kung fu skills. So you know how to deal in these two different worlds, you know, from the indigenous perspective and in a modern perspective. You guys will be able to walk two worlds. So that's the learning objectives, kung fu skills, and walk two worlds with confidence. Okay? So what I'll be covering is I'll be looking at the origins of the ancient Hawaiian land tenure system, because if we understand that, then the laws will totally make sense to you. And then I'm going to be talking about the AHA councils as they were organized anciently, and what does it mean today with the statewide AHA Moku Advisory Council, because it's really being underutilized by the islands, but it could really be a powerful tool and just another thing in your tool belt that you could possibly use. We'll be looking at Aina governance under the Li'i. This was after the AHA councils, and the reciprocal relationships between the Li'i and the Maka'ainana, and the central role that the Ohana played in the life of the land. And really, these Ohana relationships and Ohana understanding of their connection to Aina is central to understanding Native Hawaiian rights law and Konohiki fishing rights. We'll be looking at some of these traditional names, functions, and relationships to the Aina. And as you guys were talking about the different place names and what they mean and the different legends, that's all your ike from knowing, from having this intimate relationship with your Aina. And those things were codified into kingdom law. And then we'll see how it's been fashioned now into state law. And then, so the third will be really going through what those laws are. Okay, so one of the things that's really critical to understand is what is this relationship to Aina. So David Mao, in his Kamo'olelo Hawaii, he wrote about what is the distinction between Moku and Aina. And basically the translation of this writing is the people of old had many naming distinctions for the various segments of an island because of their keen observations and local classifications. There are two names for land. One name is Moku, another is Aina. Lands were called Moku because they were separated by the ocean, but the lands that were inhabited were called Aina. Hawaiians derive a great deal of their identity from the land. It is also reciprocated in kind, for Aina is not Aina without people. So you understand that, like, Aloha Aina is this sort of commitment and this covenant that the people and the land have for each other. That's why the kupuna say, you take care of the Aina will take care of you. If you look at conventional conservation, the way that they look at Aina is environment. And so you end up segmenting and separating the human element from nature. And so if you look at how it's been developed, is, okay, you got national parks. They're seen as pristine wilderness. And so you gotta, so that justifies the relocation of Native American Indian tribes onto reservations. Taking out that understanding that it was those tribal peoples that did the malama, and that's why it's pristine. So one of the things that there needs to be an understanding is Western scientific way of knowing things is not the only way of knowing, not the only way of managing. It's really putting that human element in there. If you have ancestral relationships to the land, you know, for Hawaiians, we have Aumakua. We have this kino law, these animal manifestations of our ancestors. So if the Aina is your family, then you're not gonna see yourself as separate, and you're not gonna do certain actions that are harmful to the land. So embedded in this is this understanding that we descend from Akua, we descend from Wakea and Ho'ohoku Kalani, and our elder sibling was Haloa Lau Kapalibi, who became the taro plant and the food for all of Hawaiians. And then the second child was Haloa, the man, and the first ali'i and the progenitor of the Hawaiian race. So all these ancestral relationships means that Aina is so much of an integral part of our own identity. And so one of the things that, and then when you look at different words, the ohana comes from the kawa stock. It comes from this understanding of, the makua plant, the parent plant, and the keiki, and so that's what's central to the family. And then ai is really, when you look at ai, it means food, and aina is that which feeds. So when we talk about the aina, it's the place that nurtures and feeds us. So one of the things that was shared with me by Dr. Maili was she showed this study, this 2009 study that was conducted by Kamehameha schools to see how do Hawaiian children relate to the land versus non-Hawaiians. So they asked them a bunch of statements, and one is like, when the aina is hurt, so am I. And it was like nearly 70% Hawaiian children said yes, and then around 30% non-Hawaiian children said, I don't resonate with that statement. So you can see the kind of trauma that is felt when the aina is hurt, and why we feel such a great sense of aloha aina. So with these understandings, in ancient times we had to figure out how we're going to govern ourselves. So this model comes from Kumujan Ka'imikawa, who knew all the ancient stories of Molokai. And what he shared with us, the Mana'o, was that we were first governed by these people's councils, the Ahakiole. And what it was it had to do with looking at the Olona cordage, the cordage. And he said a single strand is called an aho. But when you weave this aho together, you make this strong cordage, and that's called an aha. And Kiole, that was what the Molokai people called their councils, the people's councils, and it was named after the large shrouds or dark clouds of baby fish that shrouded the coastline. And that denoted the abundance of the resources as well as the people. So that's why it was called the Ahakiole. And really the aho, the individual aho, was the expertise of different people, fishermen, people who could manage water, navigation, understand the elements of the weather, reading clouds, understanding the rain, understanding management of the land. And so, the saying that Kumujan said in Hawaiian, he said, there's no man familiar with fishing, least he fishes and becomes an expert.